I'm Sham, and I'm going to be telling you about my train hop from hell to Eagle Pass, Texas immigration hotspot. So, caught a train from Houston, and I was wanting to go to San Antonio, which it rolls through. Stopped at the Kirby Yard just outside of town, but I wanted to kind of risk it and say, hey, we're going through San Antonio, major city. We're going to at least slow down, maybe stop along the way, and therefore I can get off. If not, then I'm going to Eagle Pass. Guess what? I ended up having to go to Eagle Pass. But nice kind of train hop, risky destination. I'm trying to do as many routes as I can, so I figure why not? So we roll through, I'm on the GM, and in Uvalde at the Nipa siding, there was Border Patrol on two sides, so they had trucks facing the train. Nothing extensive, but thankfully I was able to dodge out of the way. That is a good thing to know. And when we got into Eagle Pass, as we were rolling into the yard, there was a truck trailing us and no way for me to hide. I mean, they can clearly see. I got pulled off by the rail police, by the bulls. They were chill, although they did handcuff me, put me in the back of their car. But this is kind of like the bittersweet outcome. They did not write me up, thank you. But they drove me into town, which actually was nice because I'd rather not walk 2 or 3 miles to get into town. Took me out of their truck, uncuffed me, and left me at a convenience station, which was nice, although it was kind of an awkward scene because there was a bunch of people there like, hey, what's going on? What's up? So walked into town in Eagle Pass, again, immigration hotspot. There was every single possible law enforcement there, Border Patrol, National Guard, local police, sheriff. Everything you can imagine was there. Like a lot of times if you see clips about people jumping the border, crossing the Rio Grande, things of that nature, it's going to do with Eagle Pass. You know, they have a National Guard set up there as well. Spent a couple days there. Thankfully was not bugged. I actually went to a homeless, resource center there. It was a converted JCPenney's. I walk in, huge place, nobody there. And out of curiosity, I asked, hey, does this have a lot to do with Trump's politics? And they confirmed, yeah, because that place was flooded. One part of the store was like a processing center, nobody there. Literally, I was the only person there. Appreciate you guys. Food, clothes, showers, all that stuff, literally, it was just me. So, yeah, kind of insight into the political situation. I don't want to get too deep. I'm not here to debate or any of that stuff. I'm just narrating my experience. So now that I'm in Eagle Pass, I need to get out. And I had hidden my stuff in a field about 2 miles away from town, because what I do is I have like my heavier pack, mostly clothes, camping stuff, and I'll set it where I'm gonna sleep, and then I carry like a regular backpack, blend in, easier to maneuver with all my bare necessities, electronics, stuff like that, and that's what I carry around. So when I went back to my urban camping spot in order to gather all my stuff and train hop out, catch out, I hear this rustling and I see these lights and I turn around and boom, National Guard is in my face. And of course they're curious, and the second they hear me speak, they understand I'm an American. I tell them, hey, listen, I'm homeless. I'm just camping out here, no big deal. And thankfully they took that as is and went about their business. It's at night. That's when I prefer to try to train hop, or at least put myself into position for obvious reasons. Grab my stuff, walk the 3 miles to the yard, found the catch out spot on private property just off the tracks. And I'm just chilling there waiting for a train to come by to take me out of the area, most likely to San Antonio. So I'm there in a field, walking around, and I hear a noise, and all of a sudden I see a drone, and I'm like, holy shit, what is going on? and this drone is above me, and I just accept defeat. Like, there is no way to outmaneuver this thing. So now I'm waiting for what is the next case scenario. What's going to happen? All of a sudden, I see somebody come through a break in the fence, like the gate, and they're running towards me, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I have to get prepped. I'm a former wrestler. I wrestled for one of the best teams in the nation in college. So somebody's coming towards me, trying to attack me. I'm fully, perfectly prepped. Like, this is what I do. I've got my left shoulder up, I'm right dominant, got my left underhook down, so that when they come into me, I can use that maneuvering to throw them past me. But then when I realize it is Border Patrol, well, I can't be attacking them, so I'm just going to try to resist and limit damage to myself. And this dude came in full speed trying to tackle me. And it's funny because at the last moment, I put my right hand down and kind of lean into him to stop myself from getting, plastered on the ground. And I hold my position, and he's got his arms wrapped around me. And I'm like, dude, relax. I'm an American citizen. Come on, chill out. And he's trying his hardest to take me down, which is kind of comical. I don't blame the guy. He seemed like an eager beaver, young guy trying to prove himself on the squad. So we did that little battle where I was kind of like shoving into him for 30 seconds, and then a whole group, I'm talking like a dozen Border Patrol, comes across that gate. And the superior, his commanding officer, is like, hey, yeah, chill out, whatever. We get to talking, and I'm literally surrounded by a dozen Border Patrol. And they quickly realize I am not illegal. I think my English is pretty good. I'm on private property as well. And I tell them, listen, I'm not going to be answering any questions. I'm here hanging out, private property. Do your own thing. You've got bigger battles to fight. And thankfully they were chill. But the kind of risky thing is that when they left and went back across that gate into public property, they had a couple of trucks there and stuff. They were hanging out by the tracks, and I'm like, well, shit, I want to catch out. If a train comes and trying to get on, I'm pretty visible. And I was called in by a railroad workers because in order to get to that property, I did have to cross the tracks. I crossed at the very far throat. But you can be spotted anyway. Like, train hopping has a lot to do with luck. We have to acknowledge that. It is what it is. Whatever. About an hour later, a train did come by, and I'm like, you know what, man, I just got to pull the trigger. So I got on, but I did expect myself to be pulled off. Thankfully, nothing happened, and I was able to ride out back to San Antonio. But at Spofford, Texas, which is, you're going north into it, and then you're going to start heading east into San Antonio. I was in the DPU, and I saw a truck coming. So I'm getting off the other side, but as I get off the other side, another truck is coming on that side as well. So it was like a double team on two sides. Couldn't avoid it, got spotted. But the workers were from a third-party railroad management crew, and they were totally chill with me. They actually told me some crazy stories about that yard because they said, illegals would come through there, and then they'd have SUVs and other vehicles waiting for them in order to take them to other destinations. So that yard was very hot and active, and they told me about police chases and almost getting hit by cars and people running through fields, and that there was an instance of like 200 migrants riding a train and then jumping off and getting caught. Sure enough, I searched the story and it was legit. I mean, crazy times in Texas. Texas is definitely risky. And it was just a buck wild time there. I'm glad I got to do it. I've been all over there. And it was just a surreal moment in order to be able to kind of experience all that and listen to stories and stuff of that nature. Eventually made it back to San Antonio and continued my journey from there. I've been constantly hopping. So this is not like some sort of like one-time thing. This is just something that is throughout my journey, which I'm currently continuing. And that's just kind of one of the crazy stories I have. I have countless ones, and I'm looking forward to sharing more. And there you have it, Shaman, Texas, Eagle Pass, illegal immigration hotspot. And I'm still here, baby.